Okay, live again for another day, and going to be drawing Fire and Ice. Now I know I drew the villain version of this character here recently as the Ice character as Killer Frost, but I just wanted to bring it back to the original pair, and I'm going to do this duo card, and I hope this is fun for everybody to check out, and I hope this works out okay. Who knows what it'll bring forward. Hey Matt, thanks for making it on, man. I appreciate it. Gonna be knocking these characters out and see how it goes. I haven't drawn them in this incarnation too often, but it's not a character set that I've really done much of. But I mean, we're gonna get into it and see if I can knock them out here. So bear with me, this might be a mess. Kind of freestyling the traditional DC angry face here. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but in a lot of the comics these days, they do this little whimsy thing of cracking the lip like this, and then they mark it off a little bit, and then they'll put in that little freaky break in the lips, like the woman's ticked off or something. It's just an odd one to do, but it works. And like I said, it's a DC trademark thing. They all do it, and they have all their artists draw that way. So, and not knocking them or anything. It's a great style, but I mean, it's a signature move for DC artists for sure. Now all my DC artist friends will be like, what are you talking about? I don't draw that. Oh, man. Because then they'll see it. Which it's actually cool to get to draw this way, because then you guys get to see more of the process. So, I'm not going to knock it a bit. Ice has always had a more of a blockier, rigid face, like almost like a Rob Liefeld type of character. You know, it's a little sharp. But whatever. A little of that hair action she's got going. That pixie. I don't want to say a mullet because it's not, but it's a pixie thing in this costume. So call it what it is, man. It's a pixie. But, sorry, been having fun in the studio all day. It's a blast. I'm going to go ahead and draw in this hair so we can get that established. someone someone just private messaged me. It's a bob. It's not a pixie cut. It's a bob. Sorry. Whatever you think it is, that's what it is to you, and I totally agree with you. Oh, that's funny. So, knocking out, hold on, knocking some of the brittle pieces off my lid there. Sorry about that. Like, where'd he go? So, there, now she's popping off the page a little bit. And we're going to go in here with the back shoulder. And I did a huge no-no right there. And forgot to adjust it. Whoops. Made your shoulder run right into that hairline. You're not supposed to do that. So, but this one has a shoulder cropped or shoulder less costume incarnation. So we're going to work from that. I'm going to go right in here in the chest, right underneath that thumb. In this particular costume, I like to draw this one solid. I'm not necessarily going to cut this up too much. I'm going to define the breast line just a little bit, or the bust line just a little bit. But other than that, though, I'm going to leave it solid because she has an emblem that runs right across here. And it comes out as 3 peaks kind of thing. And I want it to look organic. So I'm going to keep that really simple and clean because I don't want to mess with that. Because then she has these divides where the suit goes white into blue and vice versa, and I want to make sure that's cropped right. And I don't want it running, I want it running on the outside of her chest, not through the middle of it, but looks like it's going to be that way anyway. Because there it is. I'm going to draw in this hand real quick. And she's got blunt fingers because she's wearing gloves. Just so you know. Go ahead and get those fingers in there. And if you look right here, the way I drew this, if you start right here at the bottom of the palm, right here where the divide is for the thumb muscle and whatnot, if you go right here across this line and draw a hard line right here, and then draw up at an angle a little bit, and then make a circle, there's the cupcake method that I keep talking about. I'm not going to draw that on this card because I don't want it to stand out, but I always do that method, and I teach it to little kids at panels and things like that, because of the fact that when you draw hands, there's always that cupcake shape. And I developed that to show my nephew and my daughter how to draw hands. And it works. Because then you come in here right across the top of the cupcake where the icing would start, or the top of it would the muffin top would be right there. And then go down into the thumb. Drawing that thumb muscle right on top there, and that pad. Then you draw in that second knuckle, and then you go into the middle and divide that in half, and draw out the bottom of the palm like that. Done deal. Now, it's not the best rendition of a hand possible, but it works in this case. So drawing the fur that she has around her wrist, which is kind of funky because it's just down a little bit. it's away from the palm, and normally they're drawn right up against the back of the wrist, but this one isn't. So she's coming out to play right there. And there's the rest of the arm. Now this is going to be the under part of the arm here, the under part of the shoulder and the upper part of the bicep right there. The reason I put that line there is because in excuse me, in this version she has some upper arm gloves going on. They run all the way up there, so that's what that is. It's like, he messed that shoulder up. No, I didn't. There's a glove thing going on there, just so you guys know. But she is popping off the page pretty quick. I'm going to get right up into this. I'm going to get up into this muscle here, up into the pectoral, get off the top of the breast here, and then go right up to the shoulder. And I'm going to leave that gap there because the way her arm is, it goes out off the card this way, so that's going to flex out, and there's going to be that little connecting tissue to the bottom of the shoulder, which you can't see. So anyway, there's Ice. She's in place. I'm going to draw in her ear and that kind of thing. So that's done. Now we're going to move on to Fire, which is going to be a little more interesting to me because I'm practicing different effects. Ha ha. And you have to tolerate it. So, sorry. I told you it's one of those days. Let's see here. Moving everything over. Hey, Tom. Glad you made it, man. Okay, now I'm going to get into this Fire character. And we're going to draw her way up here. Crunching out the shoulders. And the chest and the neck is going to be almost non-existent because of the fact that she's going to be looking down. Okay. Decided I wanted to move her head to a different angle, so cut in her eyebrow there, her other eyebrow. And because she's in flames, I'm going to cut the nose kind of wonky into a wedge rather than drawing it out. Again, the ticked off DC style mouth. She's angry. I'm going to round out this head a little bit to make it look a little more feminine. And got the big swoosh of hair coming out. Because if you don't know this character, the long and short of it is that she is completely engulfed in flames. Dare I compare her to the Human Torch from Marvel. I get to play with different angles and attributes and things like that on this character because she's embodied in flame, so she gets to stay more abstract. Which I'm not copying out on that. I just prefer in my style to do her more abstract to show muscle and stuff like that without overwhelming it or overworking it to death. And yes, she is dressed, even though she is solid green, she is dressed. She wears sometimes a bikini top, sometimes something else, you know, sometimes a half shirt kind of thing. But you can't see it when she's in flame form anyway. So we're going to go ahead and just knock this form out and shell her out and go from there. Like I said, I don't want you guys to think I'm copping out on you because I'm not. I'm going to detail it out. It's just I want to get in the whole simple form of the body and get it moving. Okay. Knock out that thumb. Put in a couple knuckles here. And there we are. We've got that. Now we're going to go in and put in those pretty eyes. Which in her case look kind of creepy. Because they boxed them out. They're not typical sleek, you know, like Storm would be, or another character would be. They're more boxed, like they're wide open, and some of her energy expresses through that. Which actually in comics is a good thing. So. And this is going to be a character that is very dependent on color. So understand that when I do this, it's going to be wide open right now. Except for the major shadows that I need to conform the character with. So. Bear with me, my eye allergies are driving me crazy today because of all the humidity. Trying to keep this simple. Because a lot of this definition is going to come in the shadows. And with her having these flames whipping around her and stuff all the time, I don't want it to go crazy and go electrical, because that looks weird. So we'll keep it kind of light. She had huge hair in the 90s when she was in Justice League International. And back in the day when Doomsday destroyed everybody, Fire and Ice were a couple of the first ones to get demolished. Along with Booster and Blue Beetle. Pretty phenomenal fight scenes in those things. Brett Breeding and Dan Jurgens were on those. Yeah, I think that's going to work out all right. Switching over here. What are you doing? Oh, nothing much. Just moving my screens because I keep getting messaged. So. Matt said she looks like a hot Brazilian. I'm going to put a little more emphasis on this eye heading this direction. And I'm going to put Ice looking the opposite way. Now, they used to be one of the biggest tag teams in the Justice League, and it was sad to see Ice get converted to a villain, which really was a downer. Darken her eyes down a little bit. When she's in the fire state, she normally just has the blacks, the pupils in the eyes, which they normally color green, which I'm not going to do, but I'm going to add in a little more detail here, like I said, without trying to overwork this or make it reliant on, you know, her physique being over-sexualized or anything like that and get weird with it. Now, I've got her thigh raised up behind here to where her knee's sticking out down here. So I'm going to shape that out a little bit. Where that goes. And make a little of that show up. But that's pretty much it. I know people want a lot more detail in this character, and a lot of artists do. But there are those of us that keep it very, very simple with it too, and she stays very abstract, and that's the way I want her to stay, so that I don't have to work in all those dark shadows and end up muddying up the water. I will put one or two on here just to give her a little more pop, a little more form. This is a Jim Ballant thing. Back in the day when he drew Catwoman, he used to always just shade out the bottom. He did the same thing with Elektra when he got a hold of her. In that title, he did that whole weird thing, wanting to shade it all out. Which in this case, it works. So we're going to pop her off just a little bit. But like I said, I don't want her to go into the inverted version where she goes to that coal look, you know, where they go black and then they have the highlights of the flame. That just is overworked to me. So I don't want to do that. But adding in a couple of defining shadows here and there, it makes her a little more buff, which she actually is. Fire is a pretty stout chick, as my 12-year-old put it. Or soon to be 12-year-old anyway. She's getting there. But, yeah. I think that's got it done. I'm going to leave it there because, like I said, this is a color-dependent character and I don't want to overwork her at all. And I'll slim that down. Grab the old eraser here. I'm going to try and slim that down with you guys right here because I don't want it to end on that note with her looking all butch with that block jaw. There we go, much better. Yep, much better, much better. Okay, cool. So, with that said, I think we've got Fire and Ice knocked out. Yeah, she was brought back. Yeah, she was brought back as a full villain a while back, and then you know, with the New 52, they brought her back as a villain, and then they brought her into the Flash live action series on the CW as well. They've had both of them appear briefly. Fire did a cameo, I believe, but I know there's a couple episodes with Killer Frost involved, which is actually a full-fledged version of Ice's villain incarnation. So, yeah. But this is where we're at right now, guys. We're going to call it quits here because, like I said, I don't want to overwork this, and I know it's sketched up because I did both characters in one place. I'll get this one knocked out and posted for you tonight or tomorrow, and we'll go from there. But thanks for hanging with me, and tomorrow is a big one. Tomorrow is going to be Spider-Man. I am going to do a couple of mainstream characters, first stringers, and we're going to go from there. But, yeah, Spider-Man is tomorrow. So, thanks for hanging out. I hope you had fun, and we'll do another one tomorrow. Take care.